A massive new study finds 40% of people with COVID-19 never even show symptoms. The finding in the Journal of the American Medical Association Network revealed this. More than 60% of confirmed COVID-19 cases among people under 20 were asymptomatic. The number was nearly 50% in people 20 to 39, about 32% in people 40 to 59, and about 33% in those over 60. So joining me to weigh in on this and other issues right now is Dr. Zich with Northwestern Medicine. Good morning, Dr. Zich. Very interesting that people are walking around and have no idea. So what does this study tell us about how we should be living in a COVID world with so many asymptomatic people walking around?
Sure. So interesting, but also not surprising. Viruses do this. Back when chickenpox was a lot more common, almost everybody got chickenpox, but not everybody actually showed symptoms of chickenpox. And even in this era, the Epstein-Barr virus that causes mono, by mid-20s, almost everybody has been infected by the EBV virus, but only about 25% actually show symptoms of mono. So this is not surprising that there's a large percentage that are asymptomatic with coronavirus. This means two things. Number one, you can't let your guard down. We still want people wearing masks indoors and we want people avoiding large crowds, but sounding like a broken record, we want people to be vaccinated. Why? Because vaccinated people have a lower incidence of infection, and they also are not as contagious when they don't have symptoms. And when they develop symptoms, they are usually not significantly contagious in the 1 or 2 days before they get sick. People are often asking, why do unvaccinated people have different quarantine guidelines than vaccinated? It's because the unvaccinated are much more contagious when they are not symptomatic than those who are vaccinated.
Okay, so that leads me into the next question then. Say that you find out that you actually have been exposed to somebody who has COVID-19 and that person knew it. They told you they've had symptoms. You are fully vaccinated. What does this mean for you as far as quarantining and what you should be doing?
This is a very common question from my practice right now because there are so many breakthrough infections and people are getting exposed. Part of it depends on the degree of exposure. If you were just passing them or you were 15 feet away from them in the same room for a couple minutes, you don't have much to worry about, especially if you're vaccinated. But if it was a significant exposure, if you were with them for 15 minutes or more within 6 feet, then that's a significant exposure. First of all, you have to monitor for symptoms very carefully and get tested if you show any signs of symptoms. But second of all, you want to be cautious, wear your mask, avoid crowds, and then 3 to 7 days later, get tested. If you're negative in that time period, then you can go back to your normal behavior.
Okay, so at any time during this period, you said 3 to 7 days after, should you be quarantining?
So the CDC does not strictly say that you must be quarantining, but they do recommend that you wear your mask and be extra cautious during that time before testing negative.
Okay, so yesterday, the WHO organization said Omicron is spreading at a rate that they have not seen with any variant. It's become the dominant variant in much of Europe and rising now in the U.S. What can we expect and learn from what we're watching happening overseas with cases surging there? Because usually it's a precursor to what to expect here.
Yeah, we know that this is coming. We think it probably will peak sometime in January here. Right now, Delta is the predominant virus. It is spreading very quickly in South Africa. It is spreading much more quickly in the UK right now. So we do expect it to pick up, and we pretty much assume all of the 50 states here in the United States have it. Again, the most important thing is get your vaccine. It doesn't prevent Omicron, but it does decrease infection with it, and we still believe it provides good protection against serious illness.
And with that in mind, there have been hints from the governor. He's insinuating that more restrictions may be coming. New York now requires vaccination access to certain places. You have to show proof. Do you think that's something that is going to make sense here and that will likely have to happen to slow the spread?
Well, every area has their own take and their own demographics that receive these things in different ways. But anything that will encourage people to get vaccinated and eventually save lives is very important. And that's really what it comes down to. This is not a political thing. This is just plain trying to decrease transmission. It's not going to stop transmission. There is no doubt. but it will decrease transmission. And most importantly, it will save lives, undoubtedly. And that's what we want to push.
Okay, to travel or not travel for the holidays, that is the question.
You have to take it on a case-by-case basis. If you are not severely immunocompromised or around people that are severely immunocompromised, if you have your vaccine, yes, you might get cold or flu-like symptoms, but you're not going to get significantly ill. So if you want to travel and gather with friends and family, then I think it's still okay.
Dr. David Zich with Northwestern, as always, thank you for your time this morning. Have a great day.